Hello, everybody. How's everybody doing tonight? You guys ready for some trivia? I'm glad you can make it. Where to Begin Homestead. Hello, Britt Brown. Hello, Monica Clark. Hi, Roy and Becky. Let's see who all's in here. Hello, Ariel. And Cowgirl Homestead. Can you guys hear me, see me? All that good jazz. Let's make sure everything's working. Can somebody tell me if you can hear me loud and clear? Thank you. Okay, so we'll hang out for a little bit, see who all we can collect in here tonight to play some trivia. We got some good prizes tonight. And tonight is canning trivia. And it's not so much how to can or anything like that. It's kind of like the history of canning, I guess. And it's very interesting. I learned several things while I was putting this together. I hope everybody enjoys it. And if you don't know the answer, you can always guess. And maybe you'll get lucky, or maybe you know the answers. I don't know. Or maybe you'll learn something. I learned quite a few things. And we hope all goes well and we don't have any internet issues or anything tonight. How is everybody doing tonight? It is cold and chilly here tonight. I have a rabbit that's downstairs working on making a nest to have some babies. She had to come inside. It was just too cold to have babies outside tonight. So she'll be inside for a while. You're going to be doing a lot of guessing. That's okay. It's multiple choice. Just pick one. And who knows, maybe you'll guess right and you'll win some cool stuff. And I do want to let everybody know that everybody can play, but I can only ship the winning items inside the United States. It gets really pricey shipping outside the United States. So you can still play, and you can't. I can't ship it to you because it's just too expensive for that. Lost one of your bunnies last week. Oh no, I'm sorry to hear that. A couple of weeks ago, I had a rabbit have one kit, and it wasn't alive when she had it, and she only had one. So I'm not sure what that was about, but it didn't make it. But hopefully this mama has more than one, and we have a bundle of babies. I hope. Britt, what kind of bunnies do you have? We have Holland Lops, and we only have those because we make good money off of them. The babies sell pretty quick, and people are willing to pay $45 a piece for them. Anybody have something amazing for supper tonight? Monica, what'd you have for supper tonight? I'm sure Danny cooked up something good. Oh, Brittany. I didn't know it was Brittany. Brittany. I didn't know who Britt Brown was. It should have said Brittany Brown. I know what kind of rabbit you have, Brittany. I actually have purchased a rabbit from Brittany. That's where my male rabbit come from. Sorry, Brittany. I didn't know that was you. So if you've never been to the live before, we hang out and shoot the bull for about 15 minutes, wait for everybody to come in. And then I start the trivia. And in a little bit, I'll let you guys know what you're playing for. And then the top 3 winners get a prize. And the top winner gets to pick out of the 3 prizes. And then the second winner, runner-up, gets to pick. And then the third person just gets what's left. Roy and Becky had chicken and rice with cauliflower melody mixed vegetables all cooked together. That sounds good. Where to begin home said chicken wings and pork chops, but you're eating soup. So you cook chicken wings and pork chops and you're eating soup? Monica had sliders. That sounds good. Pork chops sound really good. It's been a while since I've had a pork chop. I think we've got some in the freezer. Maybe I'll lay those out and we'll have those tomorrow. At the house here tonight, it was anything you could find tonight. My mom and dad's not feeling too well. They've got a cold or something. So cooked the past 2 nights, and tonight we had enough leftovers to feed my brother and my parents, and then me and Vince just did whatever you could find, and I ended up making some hot wings and some fried cheese curd. Yeah, I saw the sourdough you made, Brittany. It looked really good. I'm gonna have to come over and we should do a video and you should show me how to make it. You up for that? It's a great soup night. What kind of soup you having? If y'all seen the video, I roasted some red peppers last week. No, the week before. And I made my first roasted red pepper soup, and it's pretty good, but I think it was missing something, and I can't figure out what exactly it was missing. So I'm going to make it again and add some spice to it, some different spices, and see if I can't get whatever I think it's missing in there. Maybe some basil or something. It may be needed. I'm not sure. Come on, Brittany. You can do a video and just do your hands. You don't have to have your face in it. I've done some cooking videos that way. Loaded potato. Potato soup is pretty good. It's one of my favorites. Yeah, loaded potato soup is pretty darn good. And then I think my second runner-up for favorite soup is probably vegetable beef soup. I like vegetable beef soup too. Anybody got any plans for this cold weekend? Well, it's going to be cold here anyway. Not everybody is in the cold areas of the world. Yeah, broccoli cheddar soup's good too. I went to Golden Corral probably a month ago, and they had some really good broccoli cheddar soup. And it was so good, I bought a bowl to go home to take it to my grandmother because I knew she'd like it. And she tasted it and she said, "Oh, did you get the recipe?" And I said, "Well, I'm sure they're not making it there. It's just frozen or comes out of a can or something." Roy and Becky's going to explore the area more. Roy, where are you guys at right now? I was working earlier today when you guys were doing your live, and I was just catching bits and pieces of what you guys were talking about. Lots of times I do that during the day. I'll put somebody's live on and it's running, but I'm working, so I just hear bits and pieces. And heard you guys had some trouble with with honey, the RV, but I'm not sure what you guys said was wrong with it. Oh, you guys are in New Mexico right now. What's the weather like in New Mexico? Oh, so your muffler's broken. Where to begin a homestead? Look at copycat recipes. Anything sold in the restaurant has the recipe on the net. Well, maybe I'll look it up and see what it is. I just figured it was probably frozen or come out of a can. But maybe they make it there. I don't know. Oh, you're very welcome, Ariel. Thanks for coming over for our trivia. Low 60s in the daytime, and the night is the upper 20s. Well, that's nice. It's really chilly for us anyway. We don't get super cold here in North Georgia, but it's chilly right now. But I think this weekend it's going to be really cold, and then the next week it's supposed to get like in the 50s during the day. That's going to be nice. So it's almost at the 15-minute mark. So I'll go ahead and let you guys know what we're playing for, what you guys are playing for tonight. So tonight is going to be canning trivia. So I picked out the prizes, and most of it's around canning. So first of all, we have the Ball Blue Book Guide to Preserving. So it has all kinds of recipes in it for jams, soups, canning meat, freezer jams, how to make your own vinegar, pickles, all kinds of stuff. And then it also has directions how to can things. If you don't know how to can things, or you just need a refresher, and lots of times when I'm canning things, I have to look at the book to know the times it needs to be canned and how, if it needs to be pressure canned or water bathed and, whatever. But it lets you know how to do all that. So, and this is the version of, I think this is the newest version. Well, geez. Looking for the date. I just bought it a couple weeks ago, so I'm assuming it's 2021 version. Yes, it's 2021 version. 2022 has not come out yet, but Ball Blue Book puts out a new book every year. So this is 2021. So this is up for grabs. And then we have a Ball utensil canning set. So this is your funnel, and this is your debubbler, and it also has a you can measure the headspace in your jar. If it needs to be an inch, a half an inch, whatever, you can measure it with this. And this is your lifter to lift your jars out of the water, which comes out in super handy. And then the next prize, because I'm in a canning group called Canning Rebels on Facebook, and if you guys haven't seen it or been to it and you're interested in canning, you should go there. You should hang out with us. Lots of people have. Hello, MB Heritage Farms. Thanks for coming in. You guys should come hang out. If you have any questions, there's super helpful people in there. There's all kinds of recipes, but it is a Canning Rebel site. So not all of the recipes or everything that's done in there is by the Ball Blue Book. or the USDA code. Lots of things are like, my grandmother did it this way. This is the way I do it. And I still eat it and I'm not dead. Because you can go to a lot of sites and they'll say, you can't do that. It will kill you. That is not true. But, you know, to each their own. You can either be a canning rebel or you can go by the USDA guidelines. It's up to you. But if you're interested, have any questions, you can definitely come to Canning Rebels on Facebook. Plenty of women in there and guys that have tons of knowledge. So the last thing is that it's been hard for a lot of people to get canning lids. It was also hard for us to find canning lids this year. Our Walmart finally got stocked with lids, so I bought a case of them. So tonight, 2 of these is going to somebody. So all of our prizes are canning related tonight. I hope you can use them. If you can't, if you win and you don't want them, you can pass them on to the next winner because it will give me, you know, everybody as a winner. And when we get done, I will, you know, get everybody's address, whoever won, find out what they want, and I'll get it shipped out to you. So we used to can everything. My grandma went in depression, so learned a lot from her. Yeah, I've learned a lot from my grandmother. My only regret is I didn't want to learn how to do it sooner. She's getting older. Lots of times she don't feel good, so it's hard for her to jump in and help me. And I just wish I would have started, you know, 10 years ago and said, hey, Grandma, can you teach me this? But we're going, you know, with it as we can. And I have a lot of people, Canning Rebels, like I said on Facebook, that can answer questions for me. And my parents, they can a lot of stuff too. But some things I want to can, they've never canned before. Like beef stew. They'd never canned beef stew. And I just canned beef stew. My grandmother had never canned beef stew either, but I told her what the Canning Rebel said on the Facebook page, and she said, well, I don't know why it wouldn't work. So I tried it, and it worked. And it's very tasty, by the way. So where to begin homestead? We still can't find them. I use reusable lids now. You want to can milk. Okay, where to begin? Homestead. I have not canned milk before, but on the Canning Rebels Facebook page, they talk about canning milk all the time. I've never tried it, but you could go on there and ask them and they would be happy to help you. They're really knowledgeable and they're really nice. I've been in some of those other groups and people are jerks, just downright jerks. And I've never had anybody be a jerk or anything on there. So you might want to check that out. Okay, so it's about 18 minutes in. So if everybody's ready, I'll see if I can't go ahead and get this trivia up. And I will let you know that if you've never played our trivia before, the question's going to come up on the screen. I'm going to read it out loud because anybody that's playing on a phone or a tablet, it makes it really small and they can't read it. And I will also read the options for the answers. And you don't have to type out the answer. You can just put in the number of the answer. So it would be, just for instance, what is my name? And then number 1, April, number 2, Jill, number 3, Rebecca. And you would just put in the number of whatever the answer you thought it was. So just a moment, guys. Let me see if I remember how to do this. Hopefully I can. If not, we're going to have issues. And I will also disappear. You'll be able to hear me, but you will not be able to see me. All right. So it's counting down to start. What's the exact name of it? So I joined the correct one. It's called Canning Rebels. All right, so we're doing our countdown. I wonder if I can go over to Facebook while this is happening and get the link for the Canning Rebels. I don't know that I can do that and not cut this trivia off. Where to begin? Homestead, if you want me to drop the link in the chat after the game's over, I can do that for the Canning Rebels. So you can get over to it and join up if you want. I'm just not sure that I can drop that link while I have this up here and not screw something up. If I screw it up, I don't know if I can get it fixed. All right, question number 1. In the summer of 1975, there was a shortage of what for canning? Number 1, rings. Number 2, pressure canners. Number 3, metal lids. Number 4, jars. And remember, you just have to put the number in. You don't have to type out the answer. Where to begin, Homestead? The reusable lids, I've never used those before. How do those work? You just use them and then wash them and then use them again, after you're done with whatever canned food? And the answer was metal lids. So that's one thing I learned while I was doing this, is that this is not the first time there's been a shortage of lids. In the 1970s, President Blank encouraged Americans to combat rising food costs by planting gardens. Number 1, Richard Nixon. Number 2, Lyndon Johnson. Number 3, John F. Kennedy. Number 4, Gerald Ford. And the answer was number 4, Gerald Ford. The lids can be used forever. I might check into those. Where did you get those? Do you get those off Amazon? In response, how many new people will join the legions of experienced home canners? Number 1, 20 million. Number 2, 6 million. Number 3, 1 million. Number 4, 10 million. From the Tatler website. Okay, I'll check those out. That might be a good investment because if we ever run short on lids again, that's something good to have on hand, I would think. And the answer was 6 million. Canning is almost a lost art because it is kind of an art and it's very useful. How many home canners were there in 1975? Number 1, over 10 million. Number 2, over 75 million. Number 3, over 20 million. Number 4, over 1 million. You've had better seals with them. I bought some off-brand jars that came with lids. I forgot what they were called this year. And out of a case of jars, which was 12, I had 5 that didn't seal. And then I got to doing research and people were saying that the lids were junk. If you buy the jars are good. Throw the lids away. But by that time, what I'd canned had spoiled. So lesson learned, lesson learned. I think it was called Anchor jars, something like that. I got them from Ace Hardware. And the jars did fine. I got other lids. And the answer was over 20 million. But the jars, hello, Free Handling Maid. Thank you for coming in. Yeah, it sucked, but lesson learned, lesson learned. Gerald Ford called the gardens blank to help whip inflation. Number 1, wind gardens. Number 2, self-sufficient gardens. Number 3, reap what you sow gardens. Number 4, food gardens. I think we had a huge shortage of lids too, because we had shortage of toilet paper and everything that was going on. There was a lot of people that jumped into making gardens and wanted to learn to can, and now lots of people are doing it to whip inflation too. It's kind of crazy how history repeats itself, huh? I was thinking that the whole time I was doing this, getting all these questions and answers together. I thought, man, this sounds pretty familiar. And the answer was wind gardens. Yep, it was number one. In 1974, there was a shortage of what that caused the shortage of lids in 1975? Number one, workers. Number two, templates. Number three, time. Number four, money. Right, Roy and Becky. Yeah, I think that was a huge thing too, is that, with places being shut down because of the sickness, and then on top of that, what was on the shelves, people were just starting to grow gardens and, start prepping and things like that. And then they decided they wanted to can, and they went out and bought all the stuff. And then people that regularly can every year, went to buy lids and jars, and there just wasn't any because they were all bought up. And then the companies were shut down and stuff wasn't getting back on the shelves. So almost a year you couldn't find lids. I was having to buy jars with the lids, and I had plenty of jars. And the answer is template, number two. Yeah, teach her how. If she wants to learn, it's a good knowledge to have. There was no immediate solution for home canners. When did supply finally start to surpass the demand for lids? Number one, October 1976. Number two, November 1975. Number three, July 1975. Number four, January 1977. I hope to one day be an expert canner, and then my kids come to me and say, hey, I want to learn how to can. That would be pretty cool. I wonder if my grandmother feels that way, because I go to her for questions and sometimes ask her for help canning. I wonder if she's like, this is pretty cool. She's always happy to help. And the answer was number two, November 1975. So by the time in 1975 in November, the crops were already gone, and whatever they had from their gardens was useless. So that year, people didn't get to can that much. North Carolina women representative Charles, I'm sorry, it's hard to read. It's so small. Representatives Charles Rose sent his interns around the capital region to purchase available lids. His staff gathered and mailed out how many lids to people in his district. Number 1, 2,160. Number 2, 722. Number 3, 1,200. Number 4, 1,850. So the women started writing a representative, and this representative sent all his interns out to gather lids, send them out in his district to all the ladies that had wrote him. And in the article, it's not in this, in our trivia here, but he got a lot of blowback for that. The government was really angry at him because he did that, said that he was causing part of the problem by hoarding the lids and sending them out to people, that people should have to fight for their own to get their own lids. And the answer was number 1, 2,160. The Subcommittee on Commodities and Services spearheaded an investigation to determine the real causes of this shortage. When did the investigation end? Number 1, 1976. Number 2, 1979. Number 3, 1978. Number 4, 1908. Hello, Pathways Homestead. Thanks for coming in. Jump on in and play some trivia with us. And the answer is 1976. Pathways Homestead, if you want to play, you just put in the number of the answer you think it is in the chat. And this game tallies up the answer, who got the right answer, who put it in the quickest. And we're doing canon trivia tonight. When was the reusable mason jar invented? Number 1, 1822. Number 2, 1875. Number 3, 1858. Number 4, 1818. And you're also playing for I have 2 boxes of regular mouth ball mason jar lids. There's also a ball blue book guide to preserving, and also a ball canning utensil set. And the top 3 winners get a prize. And the answer was 1858. Who invented the reusable mason jar? Number 1, Tim Mason. Number 2, Peter Mason. Number 3, John Mason. Number 4, Jack Mason. I should have added Perry Mason in there. My grandmother used to love to watch that show, Perry Mason. She was a Perry Mason fan. Get off the school bus and she'd have that Perry Mason running. Hello, Cindy. Thanks for coming in. I'm glad you made it. And the answer is number 3, John Mason. Look, a bunch of people knew that. Would have been way cooler if his name was Perry Mason. In the late 1700s, blank catalyzed the search for a better method of food preservation and offered a reward. Number 1, Thomas Jefferson. And I'm going to butcher some of these names. Number 2, Napoleon Bonaparte. I don't know. Number 3, Marquise de Lafayette. Number 4, Isaac Newton. And the answer was number 2, Napoleon Bonaparte. I'm not sure. I'm sure I butchered that. Number 2, Napoleon. Who claimed the reward for a better method of food preservation in 1810 from Napoleon Bonaparte? Number 1, Patrick Henry. Number 2, Nicholas Appert. Number 3, John Doe. Number 4, Benjamin Franklin. Bonaparte. Okay. Bonaparte. I got it. Thanks, Cindy. And the answer was Nicholas Appert, number 2. Yeah, I learned a lot too when I was putting this together. I was like, had no clue about any of this. It still took around blank years before Nicholas Appert method trickled down to the average family. Number 1, 20. Number 2, 30. Number 3, 75. Number 4, 50. I can still hear your history teacher. I don't think I learned about anything like this in history. And the answer was number 4, 50. The process of canning kills any blank that could cause illness or spoil food. Number 1, yeast. Number 2, mold. Number 3, microorganisms. Number 4, bugs. Well, where to begin a homestead, you could always just start guessing. And it's number 3, microorganisms. Until the arrival of our modern blank, canning remained common in nearly every household. It was a necessity and a way of life. Number 1, grocery store. 2, gas stations. Number 3, food pantries. Number 4, farmers market. And the answer was number 1, grocery stores. Just imagine if you couldn't go to the grocery store, if there was just no grocery store and you had to either barter for your food through somebody else or you had to grow your own food, would you have enough food? Could you survive? There are many reasons for canning. What are they? Number 1, save money. Number 2, preserve harvest. Number 3, prepare for bad economic times. Number 4, all the above. Yeah, and for fun. It is fun. I like it anyway. But I like cooking too, so it has a lot to do with that, I think. I think they kind of go hand in hand, cooking and canning. They're a lot of the steps are the same anyway, I guess, about preparing everything to be canned. The answer was all the above. Look, everybody jumped on that. Yay! What is the suggested temperature range to store home canned food? Number 1, 70 to 95 degrees Fahrenheit. Number 2, 65 to 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Number 3, 50 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Number 4, 35 to 50 degrees Fahrenheit. The answer was number 3, 50 to 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Don't want it too hot. You don't want it too cold. In blank, refrigerators for home use were invented. They were invented in number 1, 1922, number 2, 1935, number 3, 1913, number 4, 1940. When was the refrigerator for home use invented? Our refrigerator around here seems like it's never big enough. We need like a industrial size for a restaurant or something. We have to dig and move and stack things sometimes. It's crazy. When we go to the grocery store and come back, me and my mom like to play this game, find a place to put it. I like to hand things to her and say, hey, Mom, find a place to put this. It's her favorite game. She loves it. And the answer was number 3, 1913. Blank confirmed that bacteria and other microorganisms were behind food spoilage. Number 1, Marie Laurent. Number 2, Louis Pasteur. Number 3, Jean Baptiste Andre Dumas. I don't know if I said that right. Number 4, Ben Franklin. You're failing this history class. But maybe you're learning something, Monica. And the answer was number 2, Louis Pasteur. I believe I said that right. And Brittany Brown is our number 1 winner. Where to Begin a Homestead is number 2. And number 3 is MB Heritage Farms. So what I need to know now is, Brittany, hang on just a moment. Let me write this down, and then I will pull the screen down and we'll find out who wants what. Talk amongst yourselves just for a minute. All right, see if I can't get this back to me. Ta-da! Okay. So, Brittany, do you want this Ball Blue Book preserving book with the recipes and how to can stuff? Or do you want the Ball utensil set for canning? Or do you want lids for jars? What would you like? You're number 1, so you tell me what you want. You're very welcome, Pathways Homestead and Cindy. Thanks for coming in. I appreciate it. I try to do this once a month and give away prizes. So if you guys want to come, by, I usually have it up on my YouTube channel to let you know about a week ahead of time before I'm going to, do the actual trivia. Okay, Brittany says she wants the book, Where to Begin Homestead. Do you want the utensil set or do you want the lids? And Brittany, I can come by your house sometime this weekend if you want, and I can drop off the book to you. Okay, Where to Begin Homestead. I'm going to put my email in here. Here's my email in the chat. I have wrote down that you want the lids. What I need you to do is, so I don't have to hunt for your address. I know I have your address somewhere. So sorry. Can you shoot me an email? Just let me know, hey, I won the lids. Here's my address where you need to send it to. That would help me out tremendously. I know I have your address somewhere, but it would take a lot for me to hunt it down. So if you just send me an email to that email, I will get these out to you this weekend. And MB Heritage Farms. I hope you're still in here. Do you guys want this? Okay. Yeah, give me that recipe. Be thinking about doing a video with me. We can do a video on some sourdough bread. Oh no, I hope MB Heritage Farms hasn't left yet. Ah, there you are. Okay. So, MB Heritage Farms. All right. Can you guys send me an email? Just put in an email, hey, I won the Canon utensil set. Send to this address, and I'll get this out to you this weekend also. And I just have to write this down, which is kind of funny. I have to write down, check my email, because I will forget that. So I appreciate each and every one of you guys coming out to play trivia tonight. Keep in mind, I do this once a month. Yes, MB Heritage Farms, please send your address again, because I probably have it in an email somewhere, but I get so many junk emails. It would take me a while to find it. But if you can just send me an email with the address, and I'll get it out to you this weekend. But I appreciate everybody coming in, and I hope everybody has a fabulous night. And I hope to see everybody back here next month, and which is not that far away. It's the end of January. So in February, sometimes we'll be doing this again with some more great prizes. And you know, anybody else that wants to play, bring them with you. But I hope everybody has a great night, and God bless you all. I'm going to go get ready for bed because got to work in the morning. Bye.